even with diabetes, you can do anything and you can live a normal life just like anyone else lives. It's just you have this extra thing that you have to take care of, and it's not a big deal once you get the hang of it. It's just like brushing your teeth, like something you have to do.
Every year, more than 1,500 people bike from one coast of the United States to the other. Some do it for fun, some to raise money. Others crave the challenge. They might be on a journey to prove something, maybe even to find themselves. Whatever the motivation, it is always a rugged physical challenge and a true test of mental toughness. Above all, it is always an adventure.
See the stars just beneath the rainbow, and all is quiet for love. See the clouds drifting by the window, the wind is blowing the whistle of love, and I'm free, and it's all just quite amazing, yeah.
Each cross-country trip has its own narrative, its own surprises, setbacks, and missteps, its own riveting storyline. I'm Greg LeMond, and this is the story of Adventures for the Cure.
I'm Patrick Blair, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
My name's Adam Driscoll from Southern New Jersey.
My name is Jesse Stump. I'm 23 years old, and I'm from Hughesville, Maryland.
We started this organization last year to raise money for diabetes. It was started by myself and my roommate Adam Driscoll. He has diabetes. We started this organization because we graduated college and we have these nice jobs, but we weren't really doing anything to help other people. So
We were like, oh, we love biking, we love running. Let's find something that we can do.
Last year, Pat and Adam biked from Baltimore to Ocean City and back in 2 days to raise money for American Diabetes Association. They raised $7,000.
after that experience, everyone helped us so much and we felt so good about it that we decided that this year we were going to do something even bigger, and we want to bike across the country on single-speed fixed-gear bikes. Bike across the country on single-speed fixed-gear bikes. On single-speed fixed-gear bikes.
Fixed-gear bikes.
We chose that because we want to make it unique. If you talk to a biker always knows about another biker that biked across the country. You never know another biker that biked across the country to fixed gear.
Fixed gear is about as simple as it gets. No gears, no coasting. It's a direct drive system.
So you can't stop pedaling. If the pedals are moving, the wheel's moving. And if the wheels are moving, the pedals are moving.
In my honest opinion, I think they're crazy. I'm gonna go up on those big hills, and I didn't think they're not gonna make it.
It would be a challenge for anybody to go across the United States with a 24 or 32 gear bike, but to do so on a single gear is nuts. It will be the ultimate challenge.
Gold line's gonna tell me where the light is. Gold line's gonna tell me where the light is. Take our hands out of control. Take our hands out of control.
The three men will pedal over 6,000 miles from Bellingham, Washington to Ocean City, Maryland.
We plan on biking about 100 miles a day on kind of a snake-like course across the U.S. The support vehicle is going to be driven by our friend Philip Kay. And
Andy Knowlton, driver of the AFC Mobile.
Now the car.
You don't want to know about the AFC Mobile, aka a scoop of poop.
the 1992 Nissan Sentra.
In my opinion, it was a piece of crap to begin with.
First of all, the hood is held by bungee cords.
I don't think it's going to make it, to be honest. I think that thing's a death trap. Jesse knows it. Jesse knows that I know it.
Our main goal is not so much to raise money for diabetes. We mostly want to raise awareness. We want to show other people that have diabetes what Adam is capable of.
that are same length and have plastic end caps are the side canopy poles, and the shortest pole with metal end tips is the fly pole.
All right, so we're here.
Yeah, let's get this tent up.
Potlatch State Park was a very interesting night. For dinner, Pat ran out and brought back some frozen fried chicken and a quart of ice cream for whatever reason. Needless to say, we were unable to cook the chicken. And we also had lots and lots of s'mores and a gallon of ice cream. For some reason, Pat bought a gallon of ice cream to camping. I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he thought we'd just eat a gallon of ice cream before we even ate dinner. So that was my dinner, a gallon of ice cream, burnt fried chicken, and a little bit of peanut butter and jelly. So you can imagine how I felt that night when I was sleeping with no shower in a hot, wet tent.
Well, that's it. Bye.
Adam was, I think, around 12, and he was always a really, really healthy kid. And one day we came home from a basketball game, and he just kept going to the bathroom and kept going to the bathroom, and I knew something was wrong. I drew his blood, and I took it in. I work in a lab, and we found out at that point that he had diabetes.
Diabetes is a disease that prevents the body from properly using or producing insulin. Insulin is a hormone we all need to convert sugar, starches, and other foods into the energy needed for day-to-day life.
When it was explained to him, he was a little upset. You know, he wanted to know why it happened to him, and that's pretty normal. In fact, it's very normal for anybody who gets a disease, especially one of a long-term nature in their life. They always wonder why it happens to them.
I just remember, like, I didn't want to accept it, kind of. Like, I was just like, I'm not going to accept it. And I wanted to hide it. That was the big thing, is I just never wanted to let anyone know about it. I wanted to, like, keep it, like, secret.
So we went in, and immediately they, took his blood sugar, and it was 550, and he started on injections the next day.
I was about 5 feet until they actually gave me insulin. Once I started taking insulin, my life seemed to change a lot.
He handled it really, really well. I think I was probably worse because you had to monitor everything that went in his mouth. So I investigated and found out about the Minimed pump, and he was on a pump within 6 months of diagnosis.
The insulin pump is a small device which delivers insulin in a steady, measured dose through a system of plastic tubing. The pump saves Adam from having to administer painful shots several times a day.
I didn't want to go to the pump. My mom forced me to go to the pump because, I didn't want to have this thing connected to me all the time. And once I got it, it was great because I could live like a normal life just like everyone else does.
Once he accepted it and understood it and realized he could go on and do other things in his life, and pretty much normal things that everybody could do, he became more accepting of it.
This morning we woke up in a soaking wet tent and biked for 121 miles, starting at 7:30 and ending at about 7 p.m. Then we ended up here in Toledo, a very small town, about 12 hours later. And then I think we're going to be staying in the basement of the Community Presbyterian Church. So all in all, it was a pretty long day.
Freaking dogs!
Well, it started out as a bit of a joke, but I think we've pretty much decided that we're going to do karaoke in each state.
We're supposed to stop in Astoria. Luckily, somehow, we stopped in Puget Island, and so we're still in the state of Washington. And you can see Oregon right over there. We made it, so his goal is still intact to hit a karaoke bar in each state.
Hey, little sister, who's the only one?
It was only and 4 girls on JoJo.
Hey, little sister, who's your Superman? Hey, little sister, who's the one you want? Hey, little sister, shotgun. I stay tuned. Start again.
I was just a baby. My mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. To hold you, to tell you how much I wanted. And now that you're gone, turn night into day. I need
I'm a horrible, horrible singer. Did a Journey Open Arms by myself. I go up there and the guy's running the show. He's like, oh, this is a high one. It's like, whew, instant sweat. I think he really could have chosen a better song. He had good stage presence, but his voice was just, it was hurting. It was hurting really bad. He was up there all by himself and he was struggling. But, I mean, he gave it his best shot.
Stellar Adam.
I'm Brent Hendricks, and I'm originally from Linden, Washington. I just met these guys. They actually passed me going up a huge hill. I got some like 75 pounds worth of gear and food and everything on there because I'm just camping along the way. And it's like a 3-month trip ending up in Bar Harbor, Maine, eventually. It's tough going up hills, that's for sure. I've never ridden a fixed gear bike before, but I've read a lot about it, and it's pretty ridiculous. It's definitely a different game than riding on a normal bike, I guess. So solitude is good for the first half of the day at least. By the end of the day, it just sucks because I want to talk to somebody, but it'll be an interesting trip.
Sorry.
I picked up that bike, it was so heavy.
Hey, do I owe you anything for lunch?
Oh, no, don't worry.
no.
You sure?
Yeah,
That's on us.
Sweet, thanks, man.
All right, later.
Well, we'll see you on there.
Yeah.
We're on the same place you are. It's tough. It's a lot tougher than us. He's got all that gear on his bike. I don't know if I can do that. I couldn't even lift up the bike when I tried to. Like, I physically could not lift up the bike. I couldn't imagine going up hills with that bike. We finished our ride in Tillamook today. It was about 100 miles, and Clayton Reese, he picked us up in Tillamook and drove us over here, and he's a great guy, and he let us camp out in his horse barn. It's gonna be a great night's sleep. Just have our tarp laid out, and we also had a great dinner with him, well fed, and in the morning he's gonna cook us some pancakes and stuff of that nature. I have to check my sugar probably about 12 times a day. But days when I'm not biking a lot, which is not that often, but I don't have to check my sugar as much. 104. perfecto. 80 to 120 is perfect. It's how much glucose is in your blood at the current time, and a normal person has between 80 to 120. It's perfect. I can guarantee you I'll wake up at least 3 times in the night with sugar lower than 104, and I'll have to drink half a gallon of cranberry juice. When we left Puget Island, both of my Achilles were bothering me pretty bad. They were warmed up though in the morning, and I was able to get the ride done. It was about 95 miles. But yeah, then the next day, leaving Tillamook, my Achilles were they were in excruciating pain. So after about 10 miles, I had to shut it down because I was afraid I was going to end up pulling it. So yeah, we ended up staying in Pacific City for a rest day, which was good. That definitely helped give me a chance to ice.
I kind of look like, you remember Ninja Turtles looked like Raphael when he was in the tub?
Waiting for the sun to shine and strike a chain.
You guys should get in the car?
Yeah. Andy K, you're on the bike.
You're on the bike right now?
Yeah.
You gotta start warming up.
Yeah.
Right. Andy K's in the bullpen.
You gotta start training for the Rockies, Andy K.
We'll go for the Rockies, Andy. Andy K's in the bullpen now, warming up.
One night I'm sleeping in a barn, and now I'm
on a fixed gear bike.
On a fixed gear bike.
Luckily for Jesse, after icing his leg and adjusting the height of his seat, the pain goes away, and the men are able to continue their trek.
Oh, this is Hayward Field. This is where Steve Prefontaine raced. Steve Prefontaine is Adam Driscoll's hero among heroes. And this is an absolutely gorgeous track, and it's an absolutely gorgeous day. And it's really cool that we're here right now. And this whole town is amazing. There's bikers everywhere, and I'm in love with this place. I'm gonna come back here and live, and make lots of babies. Tonight we're going to take our fixed gear bikes. We're going to bike with about 27 other guys from the local bike shops, and we'll be going from bar to bar. Apparently we're going to about 12 bars, and that means big trouble for Patrick.
We are the champions, my friends. Ready? Woo! Let's do it! This is so ridiculous. What is going on right now?
Makes me feel like pumpkin pie. Except on Saturday nights.
This is amazing. It's Fixination at its best.
I don't know how tonight is going to end up.
There it is, Eugene Fixie. Hey!
Alright, something inside makes me feel like pumpkin pie. Something in me makes me realize that I am nothing.
Foot down, foot down. Bottom line, anything that touches the ground other than tires, you're out. And there's no rules. You can ram them, you can kick them, you can punch them.
No,
if you
you're
have a
trying-
handgun,
you're
you're checking
fucking
at the
up.
door. Let's do it. Put down!
That might have sky. That might have sky. That might have sky. That might have sky.
Just to break free, just trying to outline all these damn rides.
You know how fast I had to pedal on this bike?
Though Jesse's Achilles injury wasn't enough to stop him, other health issues almost ended his trip before it even started.
About 2 months ago, it was really weird. I was actually in my parents' house in the shower, and I've never shaved in the shower in my life, but for some reason, out of nowhere, I pick up the razor and I go to start shaving. So as I lean my head back, I notice this lump in my throat.
They diagnosed it as a thyroid cyst, and the doctor said it had to be removed, but there was a 99.9% chance it wasn't malignant. Well, his was malignant.
There was papillary carcinoma within that cyst, and my doctor was quite shocked. Papillary carcinoma is basically cancer.
Since they've been tracking cancer since 1906, he is the 101st recorded case with this type of cancer. That's how rare it was.
It's one of those things that you hear about, you see on TV and stuff, but you never really quite think that it could happen to you. You know, I'm healthy, I'm really young, and I don't know, it almost seemed like a joke to me at first when he told me. An ultrasound on my thyroid ended up showing that I did have what is called a nodule in my thyroid.
He had to have his thyroid removed, and they thought his thyroid was cancerous, which would have meant a lot more complications, and there was a good chance he would not have had to go on this ride because he had to take chemo and everything else. So there's some physical things that he'll probably encounter on this trip.
A major concern when finding out that, you know, that I might potentially have a serious health issue was that I might not be able to go on this trip. So it was very important, and I stressed the fact to all my doctors that this was my main goal, was to get me ready for this trip.
There's no way he was going to let those, Pat and Sugar do this without him. Fortunately, it's over with, so he can enjoy his trip.
The support driver is the cog that keeps the bike moving. Don't get it twisted. Do you know where we're going? Because it seems like you don't.
Oh, just take 11.
It seems like you never know for some odd reason.
11. People don't understand support drivers. They think we got it easy, that we're just hanging out in the AC. You know, like slurping our little Slurpees while they're doing all the work. And they're pretty much right.
It was always a big mystery. Every time we'd show up at someone's house, they'd always want to know, what do Andy and Philly K do all day?
Heaven must be like this.
I wonder what those guys are doing right now.
Feels like a sauna out here.
Bartender, another cocktail?
Hey, Sugar, what do you think Philly K and Andy are doing right now?
It seemed like for the most part we were always pretty busy.
94 bottles of beer on the wall, 94 bottles of beer. Take one down, pass it around, 93 bottles of beer on the wall, 91 bottles of beer on the wall, 91 bottles of beer. Take one down, pass it around, 90 bottles of beer on the wall, 90 bottles of beer on the wall, 90 bottles of beer. Take one down, pass it around, 89 bottles of beer on the wall, 89 bottles of beer on the wall, 89 bottles of beer.
61 bottles of beer on the wall. 61.
Okay, drive.
Oh, we just finished 130 miles and now we're staying at the Sagmeister's Motel. Yes, the Sagmeister. And I'm really tired and I'm about to take a nap.
My butt
is nap.
burning. I need something for my butt. Whoa, whoa, this is perfect. Diaper rash and skin protection.
See that?
Oh no.
It's not as bad as it looks.
On the
99 bottles on the wall.
morning I woke up and like my face was swollen. I was like so exhausted. I kept closing it, opened my eyes, and it was just like everything was so bright. And I felt like I was like out of my body. I felt so out of it. And you know I'm taking like that thyroid medicine, and I don't think I have high enough of a dose. And in the mornings, I don't think it's kicking in enough. Really weird.
We're in Idaho. We are staying in New Meadows tonight, but there's no karaoke there, so we're driving about 15 miles up these mountains to find a place to do karaoke.
Right now I'd say we've got about a 40% chance that there's Yoki in McCall.
I am concerned that our Yoki run is going to end right here in McCall, Idaho.
That's not looking good.
He didn't know of anything.
Oh
So we
no.
can try the yacht club, which is back where we came from, on the right as we go down the street. But he didn't know.
Excuse me, do you guys know where we would be karaoke in this town?
Karaoke, good one. I think the only place that might have a chance is Yacht Club.
Yacht
right
Club,
up here.
that's what we already heard.
Told you.
Alright, thanks. Thanks a lot. Do you know where there'd be karaoke in this town?
No, I don't know.
No. Okay.
And the reason I don't is because I'm from Minnesota. So.
Okay, yeah, I'm from Baltimore, so that's...
We are gonna get this done.
If we have to go back to the Keely Club, I'll go in there,
Yeah.
no shirt on, and see if we
shirt.
can get started. Come
is
on,
awesome.
Yacht Club,
That's
you better have Yoki up.
Is this it? So we came to this bar here. It's the Yacht Club, and we walked in, and they only do karaoke on Tuesday nights. But for us, because we're biking across the country and we have to do karaoke in every single state we go to, they're gonna do it for us here. Just 2 songs, and it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, 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 the right stuff. Picked up my bag, I went looking for a place to hide. When I saw Carmen and the devil walking side by side.
In my head, I saw it going so much better.
Alright, I'm gonna turn around.
That didn't work out too well.
Some girl walked up and said,
Yeah, some girl actually walked up and said, "You suck," straight-faced.
Yeah. Not. She wasn't flirting
She wasn't
either.
flirting.
She was just, "You suck." And she asked the DJ, "Are these guys done yet?" Because they suck.
And we did suck.
And we did.
There's no question we sucked.
That we did. Yes.
It was a rough performance, poor song choice. Crowd wasn't feeling it, but we got the job done.
Crowd hated us.
Yeah, crowd hated us, but we got the job done. Feels good to be finished, and we can just
Go to bed.
worry about Montana next.
Thought I had to cuss and vent a little steam, or I'd bust some weird scene. And now in disgust, and now I'm so ashamed of the way I behave. Yeah, I was wrong.
We just pulled over, there's billy goats everywhere. Like 15 of them. I almost hit it. I almost hit a billy goat. But I didn't, because I got driving skills like Mario Andretti.
notice anything different about the car?
Looks like you guys went into the dirt or something. Is that dirt right there? Did you crash?
I don't know what that is.
Did you crash or something?
We hit a deer.
What the heck? Did you really?
Yeah. The door doesn't really open like much more than this. No
Is
joke.
this like blood, you think?
I don't know what that is.
Ew, there's like a piece of something right there.
It's like his mouth.
That's crazy. Well, I guess it adds more character to the AFC mobile. All dented up on this side too.
I was just driving like 45 miles an hour, I guess, going along, minding my business, and this deer just like came out of nowhere. I thought it was gonna go through the windshield, but it didn't, so the car got dented. I got a little shook up, and then like we kept driving, like half mile down the road, we almost hit a baby bear. Seriously, we came so close. AFC Mobile is struggling though right now. Coming out of nowhere.
I'm telling you, this car is gonna be in shambles when we get back.
Me and Stump are around Adam so much that we can tell when his sugar's low. Like there's facial expressions he makes. If I can't see his face, and if he's behind me, like on the bike or something, or in front of me, and me and Stump are like, "Hey Adam, how's your sugar?" The amount of seconds that it takes him to react to my question, I can tell if his sugar's low or not. Or the tone of his voice when he answers my question, I can tell if his sugar's low or not. And then there's different signs, like he makes different faces depending on how low his sugar is. And he starts to sweat when it gets really low and things like that. And because we're doing so much activity, we wake up at like 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning to check his sugar to make sure it's not too low. Because when we went to Africa, his sugar got really low while he was sleeping, and we woke up and we had to give him his insulin. What's that thing called? Glucagon, which is not a fun. It's a big needle, and you gotta stick it in a big muscly part of his body, probably the thigh or the butt, and it instantly brings his sugar back up. But that is the opposite of fun. It's just, it's like actually like my nightmares.
Yeah. From Baltimore.
Okay, thank you.
While trying to climb the Yellowstone sign for a picture, Pat gashes his leg and ends up with some pretty good-sized splinters deep in his thigh.
Guy said he needs some ice cream.
Thanks, guys.
My name's Alicia. I'm from Idaho. I'm a waitress / supervisor here at Buckaroo Bills. I have 2 younger brothers and 1 younger sister with type 1 diabetes. They've each had it for at least 5 years, each of them. They all got it at different times, but we're a case study on how it can be hereditary. My mother also has type 2, along with 3 of her brothers, her mother, her mother's sisters, and her grandmother.
Oh, I've used the rest of it.
So there is a
bag.
lot of diabetes in our family, and we learned to live with it. My brothers and sisters eat more candy than I do right now, and they're doing just fine. One's going to be on a church mission, one's going to be a junior in high school, and he runs track and farms. And then my little sister's going to be a freshman. She's going to be taking Italian, and she chases boys.
that diabetes is a hereditary disease. If someone in your family has it, you have a good chance of getting it. With me, it's obviously not the case. So the doctors always tell me, yeah, it's hereditary. And I'm like, but no one in my family has it. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so how do I have this? And they have no explanation. I don't think they really understand why it happens. I mean, they know what happens, but I don't think they understand why it happens. It's just an autoimmune disease.
In Wyoming, the AFC team is joined by Adam's family, who will be spending the week with them.
Have fun, I'm next.
She grew up in an Indiana town, had a good-looking mama who never was around. She grew up tall and she grew up right with them Indiana boys on them Indiana nights. Oh yeah! Well, she moved down here at the age of 18. She blew the boys away. It was more than they'd seen. I was introduced and we both started grooving. She said, I dig you, baby, but I gotta keep moving on. Keep moving on. There's pigeons now on Market Square. She's standing in her underwear, looking down from a hotel room. And nightfall will be coming soon. Oh my, oh hell yes. You got to put on that party dress. It was too cold to cry when I woke up alone. I hit the last number, I walked to the road. Hey, pleasure.
I really think if we just keep doing it, well, eventually we have to get better. You'd think.
No, not really.
At least I'll know more songs, maybe.
If you do the right song for you,
you'll know the detailed words to the songs that you.
No, you'll know, but at least you'll know what song is your best
That's
song.
true.
That's what it's all about.
You'll know more about your voice.
And maybe my
it's all about
confidence
finding
in stage
your
presence
song.
will improve, which will probably improve my singing.
That's true.
Yeah, my voice is pretty much maxed out, but stage presence.
It's key. It's 90% of it.
Confidence.
What?
90%.
Hi everybody, we're Adventures for the Cure, and we are biking across the country, and we're taking our single-speed, fixed-gear road bikes.
We got some pictures we'd like to show you guys from the trip so far, some of the cooler things we've seen. And
we just posed in front of this picture because it talks about gears and we don't have gears. So we were very confused by what that sign could possibly mean.
It's been about 2,500 miles so far.
We've taken a few days off here and there. There's also another organization that we're going to raise money for, and that's an organization called Kupenda for the Children.
Last year, we were looking for something to do more than just helping people with diabetes and American Diabetes Association. We really wanted to make an impact in some other organization, and we didn't know what. And while we were at a church retreat last summer, we met up with Cindy Bauer, and she has this amazing organization that is called Kupenda, and it helps children with disabilities in Africa.
Children born with disabilities in Kenya are viewed as cursed by God. It's very similar to the view in biblical times. Jesus and his disciples came upon a man born blind from birth, and they asked who sinned, his father or him, that he was born this way. And Jesus answered, neither he nor his parents sinned. This was done so that the glory of God might be revealed in his life. Kupenda started when I was doing some field work on the coast of Kenya. I was studying an animal called the golden-rumped elephant shrew, which no one's heard about. It's about the size of a small rabbit. And there happened to be a school for physically handicapped children that had just started right next to the forest. And the cousin of my field assistant was working at the school, and he showed me around, and there was a few children that weren't able to go to school because of funds. Took some pictures of the kids, brought them back to the United States, and people just started giving me money. And that started with about 20 kids, and now we're up to supporting somewhere around 400 to 500 children in the Malindi district of Kenya. I think that a lot of things with Kupenda for the children have happened by what I call amazing non-coincidences. An amazing non-coincidence that happened to me is I met these two guys, Pat Blair and Adam Driscoll. I was speaking at a conference for young adults, and I was just talking about Kupenda, and I had shown a video of some of the kids. And these two random guys, one with really big hair, came over and said, you know,
what you're doing is amazing. We want to help out. And then, like, sure enough, like 3 months later, we got all our information, and then 3 months later, we were in Kenya with her, and I was sleeping on the roof with like mosquito nets, like, and monkeys like swinging and like pooping on me on our beds.
They were helping out in building ramps for kids. They also spent time playing with the kids, doing soccer and doing crafts.
The kids there, they're so bright. We took the kids in for teaching them computers, and 5 minutes later, one of the kids was teaching another kid how to like do the computers, and it's like, what the heck? How does he know that? And like the things he was like doing, it was like, and then they were teaching us the alphabet like while they were typing it, which was really cool because then they were teaching us something when we were teaching them something. So that was like a really cool experience.
They decided that they wanted to help build a boarding facility for special needs children. There's an area that's very, very rural. It takes about 2 hours to get there by car on almost non-existent roads. And there's many children right now that are just waiting at home for some place to go. Because right now they can't go to school, some of them can't walk, some of them can't hear, and there's no place for them to stay or have special needs education.
You know, these kids right now, they don't go to school, and if they grow up without any education and with their disabilities, they won't really have a chance to be productive members of society.
If your parents tell you that you're not ever going to be able to be anything more than a beggar, that's all you'll be. And so that's why what we're seeing is as we help these children to adapt and learn, the society is actually seeing that these children can be something after all. And that perception of disability being a curse is slowly being changed. If I had been born in Kenya in 1974, I probably would have been killed at birth because I was born without my left hand. But I had parents that believed I could be anything that I wanted to be. My parents never let me use excuses. They gave me a guitar for Christmas and didn't think about how I'd play it, just they knew that I wanted to and that I'd figure out a way. And so if we can take that message to other people in Kenya, they'll see that, you know, if you just teach them, if you give them the tools to do it, and you let them know, like, you know, if you try, you can do this, then things are going to change.
At today's KFI, we're looking at 72 degrees, and joining us right now is Adam Driscoll.
Awesome.
And Adam and a group of individuals are biking across the country on a fixed-gear bicycle to raise awareness for the American Diabetes Association and Kupenda. Adam, welcome to our show.
All right, good morning. How are you?
Good, and welcome to Kansas as well.
Thanks. It's actually been really cool in Kansas because Kansas always usually set up, you camp at the city park, and there's usually like the city pool there. So you can shower at the city pool and you camp right there. So it's been like great experience. So
Listen to what Adam's done with his life. I mean, he's riding across the United States right now for the American Diabetes Association. Right. He's been to Kenya. Man, yesterday I sat on the couch and watched Entourage 7 times.
This is great. Adam's doing really good.
Yeah.
There have been so many diabetics, type 1 and type 2, that have contacted Adam through the website or because they saw him in the newspaper or something, to ask him questions like, how can you do these things, like bike across the country?
I got an email from a lady, her name was Vanessa. Her son was just diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and he's 6 years old. And she wants us to meet with him, and she really is excited about that because he does all these sports, but he feels like he's not, I guess, one with the teams and stuff because he always has these strange things going on with needles and stuff like that. So it's going to be a great experience, I think, and something I'm looking forward to now in Kansas City.
Hi, nice to meet you. Max, what's up? How are you?
He's a little shy at first, but give him a second.
The AFC crew decides to take Max out for dinner at Chuck E. Cheese. It's a great experience for him, but they seem to enjoy it themselves as well.
Cheese, always a good time.
Max was diagnosed with diabetes 3 months before his 5th birthday. We saw signs of him drinking a lot, urinating a lot. He only weighed 28 pounds when he was diagnosed. We took him to the doctor's office, and the next thing we know, we were in the hospital. We don't have any history of this in our family, so we were very shocked by it, very scared and worried about what was going to happen. So we did the walk, the American Diabetes Walk.
It was just a way for us to meet other people like us and hopefully get him exposed to other kids like himself. So we raised about $10,000 in total. That was split between the ADA and also Children's Mercy Hospital here in Kansas City. He was diagnosed in January of 5. He played indoor soccer that summer and then moved to T-ball, and then he was playing football in the fall. So yeah, it hasn't restricted him at all. We kind of worry about him because he plays so rough, you know. He's all boy, and now that he's got a pump, I'm a little concerned about him going about 25 miles an hour on his bike down the hill. He's got no fear when it comes to that, so. Welcome to Kansas.
Max asks us questions all the time if he's going to live to be an adult or if he's going to live to be a grandpa or things like that. So it's nice to let him meet people that are older and see that he's got a long life ahead of him, and things will be, you know, so I mean, it's really, it's great. And I hope that Max and Adam can stay in contact and have a long life together of friendship so that they can always compare notes with each other.
After seeing Max, like how young he is and him being a diabetic, like makes me want to like talk more about diabetes, inspire more people, and it's just trying to, you know, find a cure and get to the bottom of it.
All along that trip, we've heard a ton of great things about RAGBRAI.
RAGBRAI is the ride 10,000 bikers do across the state of Iowa.
You go through all these small Iowa towns and everyone is really excited for the bikers and go all out. The hospitality is great.
It definitely is the best way to see Iowa on your bike.
It's 8 o'clock right now. We're about to start RAGBRAI. I think it started around 6, so we're a bit behind the pack. We've been joined by Jason Cusick, who's a co-worker of mine, and Weasel, aka Mike. Should be a great week, and sneaking a lot of awareness all week long.
I love it.
Yeah.
We rode out from Sergeant Bluff in 90-degree heat. Through Bronson and Thun Battle Creek, Ida Grove, day one complete. Pub guide from Team Brew Ha-Ha for those who need a beer. A traveling circus all day long of folks who have no fear. We're riding through the countryside where good folks work the land and grow the food that we enjoy. It's what they understand. A highway full of riders. This ain't the Tour de France. It's the Tour de Iowa, and this year we've got Lance.
This year at RAGBRAI was particularly special because Lance Armstrong participated for the first time ever.
So this is RAGBRAI. I wasted all those Julys in France, you know?
It's really good to hear him speak. It was a very powerful speech, just about, you know, the struggles that he's gone through with cancer, and then also his continued struggle and a search for the cure. And it was good because, you know, a lot of his goals are parallel to the kind of stuff that we want to do. And throughout the trip, we had hoped we'd run into him. At one point, we're actually like 40 minutes behind him, and somehow had the illusion that we'd be able to catch him, but thankfully came to our senses.
While in Des Moines, Iowa, Adam meets a young lady named Tess, recently diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Unfortunately, her mother, who was riding a tandem bike with her, had gotten into a bike accident the day before, so Adam volunteers to ride with Tess.
All over my fingers, is this really happened to me? Had enough, cause I've said Uncle Life denied you more times than 3.
Hey, Billy.
How's the tandem working out?
I came across. This is Tess. Tess, say hello.
How's the arm, Tess? Is he making you do all the work?
She's done really well. She's probably got in about 100 miles, I guess, this week.
Wow.
And for her, that's the first. So they've been a huge inspiration for her.
I think it's really cool that you can do anything that another person can do. So you just have to do shots.
What about Adam? Showing you can do things? Or? He's kind of weenie out there, huh? I'm teasing. It's pretty awesome, isn't he?
What are you hoping to accomplish with this? What are your goals?
There's so many.
If we just inspire one person, we'd be happy with that. So it's just about inspiring others.
And then to show them that, you know, Adam is out there and he's the strongest of us 3 bikers that are going across country. So I mean, he's got diabetes and he's still like the best one. So, you know, diabetes is not holding him back at all.
To add something in, you guys are role models. I mean, and I know that you probably don't look at yourselves as heroes, but to people like Tess, wow, you guys are. And that's what these kids get out of that. You know, there's Lance Armstrong, everybody knows him. Now everybody's learning about these guys, and they're people that came right from where we came from, our everyday lives, and they've put aside their own personal gain to go out for other people, and that's what a hero is. And when my little girl can look up to guys like this and walk away feeling better for knowing people like this, they're hitting the goal, and I'm thankful. I'm so proud of you guys.
We originally met Brent in Seaside, Oregon on a day when the weather was particularly bad. We crossed paths once again in Iowa at the end of RAGBRAI.
But I've been trying for the last 2 months to catch up to these guys, and I finally got them in Iowa, I guess, some 3,500 miles later. It was really funny. I came across newspaper articles of them in like 3 different towns, and I was always like 1 or 2 days behind them, but I could never quite catch up to them until now, and it took the longest day of my whole trip just to get to them.
We had a rest day there, and we just had a ball. We went out and did karaoke with them. full beard and lost about 15 pounds. He was clearly a different man.
There was about 3 days in a row where the thermometer was at 110 and almost 100% humidity, and plus all the heat that's coming off the blacktop when you're riding. That was actually pretty scary because I was kind of in and out of a heat stroke one day and it just about wiped me out. But I'm doing a lot better, enjoying the trip. I'm in a lot better shape now than when they saw me the first time.
We met the nicest people across the country. I have such a different view of humanity and America. We had so many people just open their homes to us, and so many friendly, kind people and good friends we met along the way. I'll never forget it.
It's pretty amazing, like how they just let us in, gave us steaks, gave us the keys to their car, like, there you go, let's go. It was really cool. Or take on a hot air balloon, like this mother just take us on a hot air balloon. It's like ridiculous. You usually have to pay a lot of money to go on one of those. Somewhere we just went for free. So that was cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Out up there, sis. Get a perspective of where you are in the world. Take a look around and see what a little spot you are, in relation to everything that's going on.
We were about 60 miles out of Louisville, and all of a sudden, Sugar's pump just stopped working. Of course, it's the same day that he has to give a speech for Mini-Med about how wonderful his pump is.
Somehow, we're going to like diabetes pump fair that my pump dies. There's nothing we can do.
Maybe wait till it's got a hospital.
Do you know? I just need needles. Do you know how to handle yourself with needles? Yeah, it's the same thing. I just give myself a shot.
Where do you get needles at?
Any kind of pharmacy. Let's see what my sugar is now. I think it's dropping, which is good.
It seems like it's not going to be a smooth transition.
No. It's happened to me before in college. The good thing is sugar's 254 now. The good thing is I'm getting on my bike, and we're going to a diabetes thing, so I might be able to just sneak one there.
Yeah.
Well, I think my sugar will be okay now. I think it's going to drop. So let's just let's get to what's it called, because I know it's going to drop as soon as I get on the bike.
Okay.
I'll give myself a small amount.
It's like 250 this morning. I dropped down to 80. It was like perfect.
This has been what, 11 years since I've done this?
Yeah. Thank you.
What happens then?
Yeah. Now the fun begins.
Yeah.
I'm not switching that hook until I fall off.
I just don't want to like tear something in my knee.
Uh-oh, what's this? Is that a dog?
There's a dog in the middle of the road. Oh no.
I hate dogs.
Eastern Kentucky was probably one of the hardest parts of the trip because we had not only these ridiculously steep mountains everywhere, but we also had dogs chasing us and barking at us and just stressing us out a lot the whole time. That wasn't so fun.
There's like a whole pack of them.
We gotta wait.
What's going on here?
I don't know. There's a lot of them.
Let's just make a break for it.
They're kind of running. These are big dogs. These are like
These are like
dogs.
canines.
What are they doing?
At least they're not coming at us. They're going away from us.
I
Look,
think
they all ran away.
I don't know.
I think we might be
They're
okay.
just waiting for us.
Man, what? They're like outsmarting us or something? Like hunting us?
Raptors.
Well, this guy right down here is still waiting for us. Oh no.
Whoa.
They really are like a pack of
That
canines.
dog is friggin' huge.
If all three of us just make a break for it, only one of us will get bit.
Shut up.
Huh.
Look, see, the big one's going up there.
It's just kind of unnerving being out there in the middle of nowhere, and there's loose dogs all around, and by that point of the trip, things were really starting to wear on us, you know, anyway, so.
Okay,
Car
they're
back.
moving away. I think they're okay. Lots of cars are coming. Oh my gosh.
No.
That's another canine.
That dog would rip my leg off. Hi, dog. Hi, dog.
I think he's okay.
Yeah, he's good. That's an old looking dog.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be in Virginia. Virginia only one state away. We haven't even really hit the Appalachians yet. That's the hard part. Left knee feels like it's gonna fall off. And tomorrow's even harder.
Hell Cemetery.
Hell Cemetery.
I'm gonna go with Hell Cemetery.
They're just chilling on the side of the road.
Those things are huge.
Pigs and wild dogs. This feels like hell. Right now we're in Vesuvius, Virginia, and are about to climb our last and ironically hardest hill of the trip. It's going to be about 4 miles, from anywhere from 12 to 14%, so should be pretty interesting.
That was like a very exciting day because we're going up the biggest mountain of the whole trip, and we'd already gone up a lot of mountains that were really, really tough. So we knew if this mountain was tougher than some of the mountains we've been going up, it was really going to be an intense, epic effort to get up this mountain.
Okay, can we get this going? Because I'm so nervous right now. I've just got it. It's like a race.
I definitely don't see it as a race. I just see it as fun. I just have a good time.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Mount Vesuvius is going to be a race.
Probably just switchbacks. Do we know if it's switchbacks?
drenched in sweat. Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Probably the hardest thing I think I've ever done athletically.
At one point, I felt like I was going to fall over.
It wasn't bad once in the rhythm. In the beginning, I just started going straight, and my breathing was like through the roof. All downhill from here. Cookie lady.
They ain't getting any shorter.
Cookie lady at the bottom.
Cookie lady.
This is hot days of bike, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jude.
Patrick.
Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland, Baltimore. So the cookie lady was this nice old lady in a small town, and when you get to this town, there's nothing at all. Somehow this lady with this nice house, she just started taking people in, like making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for them, and she became known as the cookie lady because she also made like homemade cookies.
Yes. Can you squeeze just a little bit closer together? I don't want to get too far away.
It was pretty amazing. Her house was basically a shrine to all the people who had gone on bike trips across the country, and there were just postcards and letters from every corner of the world.
That represents a lot of bikers. There's a whole lot of history in there.
Get that right.
You know, most all of the things that have been left, people have, it's a story behind them.
It's really cool, like, to think of like how many people have actually biked across the country, like for some other cause, or for something, to prove something like something along those lines.
When you go to this lady's house and see all the memorabilia that has filled this entire house, you really can grasp like how many people actually bike cross country and how many different stories that these people have for biking across country, and it's pretty cool.
The bikers have just, well, they've just been the biggest part of my life. And they've done more for me than anybody in my life. And they've helped me through some hard times. And so I'm very partial to bikers. I don't think I have any relatives except the bikers, so I call all you guys my family. So you're part of a bike family there, whether you like it or not. You are officially a part of the bike family. When you sign my book, you become a member of my bike family.
It was just really cool to be a part of that after we had gone across the country and see that we were another mark in the history books kind of thing. So it was an awesome experience just to be able to meet the cookie lady.
Thank all of you so much. I've enjoyed Thank you for stopping. I'm glad you stopped by to say hi.
After 80 days of biking, AFC finally makes it back to their home state of Maryland.
I guess if there's one thing I would want people to get out of what we did this summer is just the fact that by putting your mind to something and just setting a goal, you can do great things.
I remember Jesse being like, I don't not finish what I start.
Achieving the goal of doing karaoke in every state, and felt like a sense of accomplishment when we got it done. We actually, we achieved something, I felt.
You're the one that I want. Honey, one that I want. Honey, the one that I want. You're all I need. Oh, yes, indeed.
So you guys did all the way across the country?
We've done karaoke from day one in Washington State. It's been an amazing journey. There have been many times when I thought we weren't going to make it personally, but here we are, beautiful Baltimore, Maryland. One love. We made it.
One of our final days of biking in Towson, we went to Mount Sinai Pediatric Hospital.
Welcome to the Children's Hospital at Sinai. My name is Kristen Milat, and I am a certified child life specialist here on the pediatric unit. The kids have been anticipating their ride pretty much the entire time. We've had the bulletin board up and it's been revolving. They've gotten to put up pictures and they've gotten to see what's happening in the journal and the logs, and they've been anticipating the riders coming to see them probably for about a week and a half. We've also have a toddler group, the toddlers with type 1 diabetes, who those kids were really excited, and they actually got to come and visit with the guys today too. Ray's been waiting for a long time to meet you.
How are you? That's a cool little.
Christopher, he got a pump a while ago. His has dinosaurs. He's very excited.
There were quite a few diabetics, and Adam got to talk to them, and a young kid actually had the same pump he did and was really excited about that.
I think for our parents it means that they can see an end result. In Adam's case, he's had the opportunity to do so many different things athletically, and a lot of our families feel like all of those things have been cut off because they're not sure how to incorporate the diabetes into their lives rather than having their lives incorporate the diabetes.
Okay, now,
I can't go that fast.
now Jesse will actually realize how high it's going.
What's going on?
Going into Cambridge, from Towson to Cambridge, we hit tail end of Hurricane Ernesto. I guess it was probably a tropical storm by this point, but that was pretty intense.
Freezing cold and raining, and we ended up making it through, and it was pretty crazy looking back at some of the damage that storm caused, and to think that we actually biked through it.
Well, today's the last day of our trip.
Thank you very much for your hospitality.
We're going to Ocean City today, and I couldn't be happier. Only 60 miles left. We're going to take 50 all the way. It's been an amazing trip, and I can't wait to get it done.
Woo!
I was extremely happy to be home and to be in Ocean City and know that we really didn't have to wake up the next day and go biking, and that we could just relax and kind of get back maybe to normal life and hang out, with our friends and family and just have a good time.
Let's get out of here. Good job. Yeah. We gotta get out of here.
To celebrate their success, AFC organizes a 26-mile bike ride around the outskirts of Ocean City. Before the ride, Adam is presented with a new insulin pump from MiniMed for all he has done to fight diabetes.
It's going to be a surprise. Tess, who we met in Iowa for Ragbri, that Adam rode the tandem with, he doesn't know that she's here to surprise him for the final ride. So it's going to be a pretty big surprise. Hopefully he'll be excited about it, and hopefully no one will blow the cover.
Adam, it is a tremendous thing that you've done, 6,000 miles, type 1 diabetic. It just shows that, this disease state does not have to hold you down. And he's been on our Medtronic MiniMed pump now for a long time, 12 years, and it's about time that he upgrades to the newest and greatest system out there. So, without further ado, where's that pump? Does anybody have that pump? Somewhere. We want to present Adam with the new pump and transmitter sensor. What the heck? Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Without this pump, it would be very, very difficult to do this trip. The shots is very difficult. The pump therapy has been so amazing. It's been able me to be able to do this whole entire trip. And
big surprise is Tess right here. Tess is 11, and she was just diagnosed with diabetes in January, I believe. Yeah. And she's also. That's awesome. And Tess is also thinking about getting an insulin pump, and I got a chance to ride a tandem bike like that one with Tess in Iowa, and it was just an awesome experience. I'm so happy that Tess is here, and her mom and Tom, and they came out from Iowa and Georgia. I guess we'll get ready to bike, and thanks so much for everyone coming out and everyone's support, everyone that put the ride on. It's incredible. And we couldn't have done this trip without everyone here. And Tess.
I'd like to thank AFC for this helmet. It fits really well.
I think as far as what we set out to do, the trip was 100% success. We raised all the money we wanted to raise. I really don't think we could have extended ourselves any further as far as, giving talks and meeting people and, just everything we tried to do during that trip. I don't think we could have done much more.
It was an incredible trip, that's for sure. Something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, the new pump, I've had it for about a week and a half now. It's really working out well. It actually caught one of my lows the other night when I was sleeping, and that's like the main reason why I want it is when I'm sleeping for low sugars. If you go into low sugar, you're not going to know, like you're not going to wake up to that. You could go in, there's a possibility of going into a seizure and even possibility of a coma, and that's like one of the scary things that a lot of people have with diabetics. And I've had a couple of them when I was sleeping, and it's not a great sight to be around. It's not a good sight for the people that are there taking care of me either.
A couple days ago, Adam received an email from Vanessa, who is Max's mom, and she said that he had a seizure in the middle of the night, and she was woken up by his seizure. And by the time she got to him, he'd been seizuring for a while, and she got to him, and she found that his whole left side of his body was paralyzed by the seizure, so he couldn't sit up or anything. And she was just horrified. Of course, she called the police and everything, and the ambulance came.
So they took him to the hospital, and it turns out like that's what happened. He got really low sugar, and like at first he didn't know who he was and stuff like that when he was at the hospital.
Luckily, the next day he was unparalyzed or whatever, and like throwing a football around. But it's definitely something you have to watch with type 1 diabetics, is that the lows in the middle of the nights, because they can die from that.
After a while, if I don't have any like low sugars, I realize that I almost forget like how easy it is for me to would be to me lose my life, with the low sugars, and I almost forget about that sometimes. And then when I get reminded of things like happening with Max, and just like a lot of people that are having problems with their diabetes, it just reminds me how careful and how precise it is, and you just have to just remember that.
Ten months later, Pat and Adam fly back to Kenya with Cindy Bauer for the opening of the new boarding facility they helped make possible. Today is Disability Awareness Day in the Kenyan town of Marafa. It is also the opening ceremony for the new boarding facility.
Kuna ndugu wawili hapa ambaye ni Adam, Pat na Jasi, Andy na Philip. Watu hao waliweza kupeleka baiskeli hii ya kawaida cross America, na walisafiri mwendo wa kilomita 12,000 na
we are so happy and blessed to have met everyone here, and we are excited about the new boarding facility being able to help the community and raise awareness about disabilities.
Tuna furaha kuwaona nyinyi wote na sisi tukiwa hapa hasa katika shughuli hii ya kufungua jengo hili jipya.
We
declare this facility open. We're back here now. It's been about a year since we started the bike trip, and we're back here. We raised the money, the $26,000, and this is the boarding facility that was built with the money that we raised. It's going to house about 20 to 30 kids that can't go to school right now that will get a chance to go to school because of this facility here.
God bless you.
We just had a big award ceremony and a grand opening, and it was really awesome. Can't ask for more than that.
We got to cut the ribbon to for the opening ceremonies of it, and we planted 5 trees throughout walking into the boarding facility to represent the 5 of us who went across the country. Jumbo!
So this is it. Our work is done, and we'll be on to our next task.
If I had a song to sing, I'd color it with things I've seen.
Pat and Adam just take so much initiative in what they're doing, and I am always amazed when people say they're going to do something and they actually follow through and do it, because many people will say, oh, it's really cool what you're doing, I want to help out. Honestly, not that many people follow through with it, especially to the extent that they did. I believe that if I had told them that we needed them to raise $1 million, I think they would have. They just have such an excitement about life and a passion for caring for others, and they know that it's not just about doing it because you're supposed to, but doing it because the rewards just that we have here on earth are just so amazing. To see the smiles on the kids' faces, to just know that you had something to do with that child's life being a little bit better.
My helpless soul, he died to save.
It had been a long, rigorous trek. There were many times when they wanted to quit, when the hardest thing to do was get up in the morning and get back on their bikes. But the smiles of the young diabetics they met, the warm and touching thanks of their parents, and the incredible generosity of the people everywhere, and the stunning natural beauty of the vast country they had discovered, at ground level, one turn of the pedal at a time, made it all more than worthwhile. With these amazing guys, one thing is sure, it is always an adventure.
Behold the Lamb that sets me free. Hallelujah, hallelujah, I will sing of
It's so fun biking with you guys.
July 12th and we are in Hutchinson, Kansas. We just finished. It is July 12th and we are in Hutchinson, Kansas. We just finished. Why can't I say that? It's July 12th and we're in Hutchinson, Kansas. We just finished our 7th straight. I can't even talk.
Pat, Adam, and I have all been really physical for the physical. Physically active is what I meant to say.
Now, support, I think, is important. Whoa. See, they're calling me right now. It's Pat. He needs me. He needs support from me. What can I do for you, Pat? Hello, AFC support.
Man, Silly, can we have a good time in AFC support car or what?
Oh yeah.
Woo! Woo! Yep.
We made it. Everyone okay?
Cut. That's the end. You can just wrap up the doc right there.